The first thing I would offer philosophically is that at a certain, not even abstract level, the structure embodies the necessity of the expression, what might be called the writer's relation to the subject. The structure diagrams his or her psychological organization of that subject, and as such is itself expressive. I mean, it not only conveys content, but in its way of conveying is itself a kind of content.
It's difficult to quantify this fear for the uninitiated without sounding hyperbolic and paranoid. But picture your favorite part of your own body, your heart or brain or hands or whatever, and imagine leaving it in the care of some random 18-year-old while you go off and try to get some work done or have a relaxing evening reconnecting with your spouse over overpriced tapas. It's a miracle you're able to continue to breathe, let alone drive a car or type email or digest ceviche. If anything bad happens while you're away, you'll probably literally die. That was supposed to be funny too.
This is relevant because it's common knowledge, or so I have reason to believe, that broken hearts cannot tell time. Broken hearts are blind and senseless to time, skewered on a cruel, white-hot spike of stopped time, writhing, oblivious to the count of the days. Because what's the point of counting when one never leads to two, and two never flips ahead to three, but it's just one, one, one.
It seemed impossible, truly impossible, that Colleen would not only shoot heroin, but do it in front of my kid, explaining it as she went. I don't write fiction, right, so this is all true. I can't think about this right now, he said, stuffing his clothes into his duffel and scanning the room for something he'd apparently misplaced. Perhaps his faith in humanity.
And in this way, it offers the heartening confirmation of something we often forget, which is that we possess far more in the way of ideas and insights than we know, and that are lying in wait, pending articulate expression. Isn't this a version of what we discover reading Plato, the dialogues, wherein over and over we see the teacher Socrates lead his chosen interlocutor by way of questions into making more refined associations, into, why not say it, thinking?
Kids will work for a while, especially when they're babies, going off like alarms right on schedule. But as they grow up, they become unreliable, begin to oversleep, and apparently lose their ability to tell time, or even pretend to harness a healthy respect for time's verities. Don't get a cat. Cats only acknowledge one setting on the clock, the food setting.
The particulars of the moment were novel, but the feeling was excruciatingly familiar. It was how I felt as I fought the urge to rescue my 6-month-old daughter from her 45th minute of crying it out in her crib. It was how I felt when I let some x-ray technician twist my shrieking baby's dislocated elbow around to get a clearer image of what I knew was not a broken bone. Was I doing right in letting them prove her arm wasn't broken, or betraying her by not preventing a painful and unnecessary procedure? Was I scarring Maisie by leaving her to cry alone in her crib at night, or setting her up to become some spoiled, entitled Veruca Salt every time I attended to her howls?
To this I proposed my counter-theory, that there exist important levels of forgetfulness, and that writers might want to learn to use them. These psychic lacunae or gaps are different for everyone, of course. Myself, I very deliberately do not write down the fleeting images or phrases that come to me while I'm driving, grinding coffee beans, or pedaling on my exercise bike.
Perhaps your wiring connects with a different set of sensors attuned to a greater silence, and from within that silence, the emergence of voices you might not otherwise hear.